Howdy friends, welcome back to the House of Tone. My name is Wes Lee. I'm a band instrument repair technician. I started a YouTube channel to show what my life is like working on band instruments. I appreciate you stopping by. We've been busy. It's been real busy. It's been real good. Got a new banner back there. Been having it out. Of course today the weather decided to turn and start raining real bad, so it's hanging out in the shop with me today. Today I'm going to show you some stuff on some new clarinets that I'm seeing a whole lot of. Problems that need to be addressed so that the students have a great chance for success. Let's jump right into it. Brand has nothing to do with this. This is a modern student line clarinet, so it's plastic. I've backed out these rods. As part of servicing them, I'll dip all these rods in this lanolin grease and put back in. This instrument has come in because this key, right, doesn't work. Okay, let's look at this. Let's zoom in. See all this key play? The rod is moving in the post, and the key is wiggling on the rod. Now, if we screw this back in all the way, so we stake all this down. Okay, let's zoom in again. You see that? I still have all that key play. So we need to take this out. What happens is that the keys, the seat's not going to stay established. It's going to move. And it's on several of these keys. See? Here as well. And that's bad. Now the trill keys seem to be fine. They're good and tight. But lateral motion, right, pushes, and it pushes these at an angle. And so these wear out. As technicians, we need to start checking these as per regular routine. That's in my opinion, and that's what I do here. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about refitting these keys, but then of course we have this other problem. Let's look at it. This key moves. Oh no, it doesn't. Okay. This part moves. The ring doesn't open back up. Let's flip it over and look if I can get this on camera. Right there is a small dent, and I believe it goes all the way through the hinge tube and is getting caught on the rod, so we're going to take care of that. So let's look at some stuff. This is a Collet swedging tool. I've shown this before. This is one of my favorite Ferree tools that I use for key refitting. Let's look at how to do this without marking up this clarinet. Okay, let's go ahead and get this rod off. So to do this operation, we're going to dip into this grease. We're going to put through there. And we're not going to wipe off that excess. And we're going to install the key. And now I'm going to give just a little bit of a turn and back off. And I'm going to turn and back off. And my rod, the hinge rod, stays smooth. Now I want to flip around and do the other side. I'm going to open this up, make contact, turn it off. And if you can see this, that's all the turn that I'm giving. I'm moving my key around. I want this to go all the way around. and I'm not trying to do it all at one time. Now I can feel that the key is tight again on my hinge rod. Now let's go check it on the horn. So now we're going to drop the key back on. Check it with the hinge rod in it. Going to tighten it up mostly. Let's look at it. I'm going to zoom in. Okay, we've still got some play in it. So let's repeat it. We'll pull this back out. Dip in. Let some good grease get on there. We load it back on. And we start easing it around. And just do a little bit at the time. Feels better. Let's grab up this other side. So you can see that collet tightening down. You can see it move. See, release, turn, and it draws down. Release, turn, and it draws down. Okay. Let's reinstall on the horn. Okay. Let's zoom this in. So now it's tight on the hinge rod, and now the key is tight between the posts. So we need to shorten the hinge tube itself. Let me show you something for that. Ferree has got this set. This is a really cool thing. So now you can buy just the individuals. And what you want to do here, let's clarinets I think are typically about a 7.5. Let's see how close I was guessing. Oh, so good. You want to find the size that is close to your rod, so it makes a good guide for you. That's really nice and tight there. Now they include a driver handle that you can clamp down on this, but I find that I can do really nice and precision taking that leading edge. Let's see if I make it shiny for you. There it is. See that? And just cleans up. So we got some marks over here. And you just take it and it just dresses. So that makes some chips on the end. It just dresses the end and makes it look really nice. And notice I was not aggressive and just gave it a couple of little turns. All right, let's mount up back on the horn. Oh, before we mount on the horn, we want to check. You see that? It's another. Now the hinge tube doesn't want to go. And the reason is a little chip. So we've got these deals. This is called a broach. And you just want to slide this in and just rotate by hand. No, I'm not even pushing on it. And I'm just spinning that, and it's going to clean up that edge so that there's no burr. And the key fits really nice. So now we're going to put the key on the horn. Oh yeah, that's nice and tight. Going to dip through. Line this up. A little bit more difficult looking through the camera. There we go. All right. And now we'll get this put in. Check it. Look at that. Nice and tight. And that's what you want. So you're not going at this really hard. We're just trying to move it enough, and we want that to be tight. And then, of course, we want to check with our feeler gauge. We want to feel that we've got the seat properly established. And that feels good all the way around. This horn's going to play great. So now I'll have to repeat the operation on this key. So we're going to take this off. And I like to use complete round nose. Make a dip. Get some extra on there. Okay. Do the other side. Back off. Turn. All right. Now we're going to check it on the instrument. Yep, and that's all it took on that one. Grab my little shortener, a little wiki, and you can feel it like click as it takes off that burr, and that's all it is. And you just go a little bit at the time. Then the broach, just dress the inside, make sure that there's no burrs. Test with your rod, nice and tight. Drop the key back into place. I don't think you can have too much grease, so I just dip in and dip in and dip in. Let's see, there we go, pop it back in. Positive lock into the hinge, between the posts. Look at there, nice and tight. All right, and then I got good pop, but let's test it with the feeler gauge. That's right. That's good. Yep. Very good. Now let's go ahead and put this back on here. And this is not a hard thing. It's just you have the right tools. That's what the horn needs. The students have enough issues trying to play, learning to play. So we need to take care of these and address these when we see it. That's my opinion. Okay, now let's address this other problem that we were having, right? Key work's here, and we know it's bound here. So let's get this rod out. Yeah, that is tight in there. When you feel that you have a dent, let's see if I can, there's a break in the light. Gosh, it's hard to see through the camera, but it's right there. And when you put the rod in, it binds there. And then if you flip it around to the other side, and put in, see, it's in that same, oh, there it is. See that flat? That's it. Now, I've seen people use files inside, and I have seen people actually drill, take an oversized drill bit, and I'm not a fan of that. I'm just not a fan of it. What an old timer showed me, obviously this is an old blown up key, and you take diagonal cutters. Now this is for this rod. This is from a donor instrument. And what happens is, see, this runs through fine until it hits these sections, find that dent. And that little, when it finds that dent, these catch on it. So you spin this in your bench motor. We're going to take these diagonals and we're going to make random impressions. I do this every time. Okay, so by squeezing this area, you flare some of this other steel part out. Now when I put it through, it's going to go through the key and immediately get hung up on any spots and inconsistencies or dents inside. So now we're going to put this, we're going to spin this in the bench motor, and we're going to repair this key. Come on. I'm going to chuck this in, and I'm just going to go hand tight. And I'm going to put my key on here. And I'm going to start the motor, and I'm going to work the key through it. And that's all it is. And I'll do this a couple of times. And then I'll go this way too. I didn't really feel anything that side. So what we've got is the end is still round. The hinge tube is the size of this. And so these little high spots, they just come through and they clean the inside. And so now when you look, see how shiny that is? When you look down the tube, you can see how nice and clean and shiny that is. And the top as well, where that dent was. See, it looks all, let's see if I can get it back. There it is. It's all consistent now. You can check out the light lines or shadow lines. It looks good. Let's go try it on the horn. So let's check our hinge rod. Look at that. And it's tight. We didn't expand it. We didn't drill it out. We didn't remove a whole bunch of material. This is a very, very safe and not a harsh method. Get this reinstalled. And we'll screw this back in. Wipe off our excess grease. Look at there. That's it. Good to go. We wanted to be in the band and have a wonderful experience. Can you imagine if you know, as a player, right? You're a player now. So can you imagine back when you were starting, as hard as it was to play, if you had an instrument that didn't work with you or had serious mechanical problems, gosh, it would have been a real drag. Would you have stuck around? So when you're doing repair work, think about that. Think about that for your customer, because that's important. So that's servicing up a clarinet. Thanks everybody for dropping by and watching the video. I appreciate you coming around the shop today. So there you got some tips and tricks for refitting clarinet keys and just generalized play condition. I think as we were just talking through it, You see that it doesn't take long to do that when you notice those things. And it's important for the players, like I said. That's my opinion anyway. Hey, so I'll leave links to those tools down in the description with a link to Ferree's tools so you can give them a call and talk about getting yourself some of those cool tools. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate you. I'll see you soon. Come back around, all right? This is Wes Lee, signing out.